Futuristic crime fighting. Minority Report hit the mark, Mercy missed. But why? Let's dialogue. Hello everyone, I'm Gamma and this is Gammalogs, a place on the internet where we discuss film production and life lessons. Let's start with 2002's Minority Report and compare it with 2026's Mercy. And yes, please consider this your spoiler warning. Minority Report is a Why Will You Do It film set in 2054 DC. There's a department known as pre-crime, and they are a government agency just in DC that wants to go nationwide. They're doing a test program just in DC, but their desire is to go nationwide throughout the US. The pre-crime relies solely on the precogs. They are three people, a trio of four seers, who are a pair of twins, and then their strongest, Agatha. The precogs can see or foresee murder. Because of this, premeditated murder in the Washington, D.C. area has basically ceased to exist. It's mainly murders of passion that are now up for grabs and up to be stopped by the pre-crime department. The precogs foresee that one of their own in the pre-crime department will murder a man that he doesn't know in the next 32 hours. So John, played by Tom Cruise, is now on the run, hiding from technology, his coworkers, and the pre-crime department. And he's also trying to figure out why he's going to murder someone he doesn't even know. Mercy is your classic whodunit. It's set in the future in 2029's Los Angeles. The Mercy Court is an AI judge, jury, and executioner. So there are no lawyers, there's no defense attorney, and the nation is not watching. You are alone, strapped to a chair before this AI judge. So in Mercy, a perpetrator is presumed guilty unless they can prove their innocence before the AI judge. And on top of that, you also only have 90 minutes to prove your innocence.
If you are innocent, prove it to me.
So Mercy is about Detective Chris Raven, played by Chris Pratt, who is charged with the murder of his wife. He now has only 90 minutes to prove his innocence to an AI system and program that he really helped create and was really behind pushing. So some of the commonalities between Minority Report and Mercy are futuristic crime fighting. We have man against machine, but a machine of their own creation, or this machine that they were really behind and wanting to be a part of society. And then on top of that, for both of these films, they are both a part of an agency that is now after them. And the bigger spoilers for both of these films is that the villain in the film is someone within the agency, someone that they work with.
It all points right at you.
So when it comes to how Mercy failed where Minority Report succeeded in this futuristic crime fighting genre of a story, I think it really lies with the differences in the way they approach the story. For instance, the futuristic worlds in both of these films feel completely different. Minority Report brings in a lot of physical media and data. You see John using these special gloves to manipulate digital information in front of him. But on top of that, while he's at work, he and his coworkers have these large files that look like just clear sheets of glass that they pull from one computer to put in another. It reminds me of floppy disk. They're taking digital information on a physical media and they're moving it from place to place. They're transporting it that way. They're not emailing it to anyone. So there's that physical feeling with technology. And I liked that. And then on top of that, Minority Report also had moments where when John was in that slum apartment building for the underground medical procedure, you saw the grime that people were living in, the disgustingness of that refrigerator. So you got to see the world and the environment when he's traveling in those futuristic cars, when he's out toward the coast, when he goes to this lady's home where she has the garden. You got to explore this futuristic world, see how cars work and operate it, and even how a car is manufactured. We saw all of that in Minority Report. Whereas Mercy, we saw nothing of the futuristic world. Our main character, Chris, sits in a chair, and all we see are files moving past him. 3D imaging of a crime scene or of an explosion surrounding him. He's not there. We're not there. It's just a recreation. We only get to see him in the world through the eyes of his coworkers, through body cam that is so it moves here and there. It looked low quality. It was someone's poorly filmed cell phone footage. We do see his one coworker on this like police helicopter motorcycle thing. It had huge four rotating propellers on the sides, and she would come up and go down. So that was the one futuristic piece of cop technology we saw, but there really wasn't anything that felt futuristic to me in this film. Now, mind you, Mercy is taking place just a few years from now, and Minority Report is decades from now. Another difference between Minority Report and Mercy would be the countdown, the impending time before the main characters are caught or killed. For Minority Report, John is given 32 hours. And this isn't just a random time, it is the set time before he is going to murder Leo Crow, the man he does not even know. So he's got that much time to figure out and solve his own mystery. Whereas in Mercy, Chris has 90 minutes before he's killed. And he's given 90 minutes, and it's so obvious the reason he's given that much time is because that's when the movie will end. It would have played so much better in the film of Mercy if Chris was placed on like an ankle monitor, given 3 days to prove his innocence, and he had to report back to the jail every night by like a set time. And if he was late, for every minute you're late, you lose an hour of investigative time the next day. Something like that, I think would have been so much better than the obvious 90 minutes because the film ends in 90 minutes, so hurry up or you're gonna die. It could have done so much better. And then another obvious difference between Minority Report and Mercy. Minority Report, John is literally on the run. He's hiding from his coworkers, he's hiding from technology, he's hiding from everyone to figure out this mystery. John is on the run. Whereas in Mercy, Chris is just sitting there talking to a computer. It's like he's on hold. Who likes to be on hold and just sit there and talk to this computer? Talk, talk, talk. Would you rather see an action film where the main character is on the run or an action film where they're sitting? Hmm, hmm, hmm. So, yes, that chair was horrible. Put him on an ankle monitor, please. Another interesting difference for these two films was the idea of guilt. For Minority Report, you were locked away for something you were going to do in the future, but you have not done in the present. So they locked you up for a future crime to save a life and ruin yours. And then for Mercy, you are presumed guilty until you prove your innocence. So you come and you're locked in this chair and you are guilty, but tell us and prove to the AI that you're not guilty. I don't know which I'd rather have a world where people are locked away for future acts of violence, or a world where when you are caught for a crime, they don't treat you as if innocent. They presume you're guilty. Ugh. It's interesting how the idea of guilt has just kind of changed in the future for these films. So, another difference between these two films are the relationships between the main characters and technology within the film. For Minority Report, John is on the run and hiding from the technology that is constantly surveilling. In this futuristic time period, or futuristic world, people are constantly surveillanced and identified through retinal scans. So John can easily be found and taken to prison because of his eyes. His eyes will give him away. They These scans not only allow people access to certain buildings or certain rooms, it also modifies advertisements and AI welcomes. Like when you come into a store, the welcoming will be tailored to you because they've identified you through your eyes. So, to hide from surveillance, John has his eyes replaced with someone else's who has a clean record. So, he's hiding from retinal scans, he's hiding from his coworkers, just to continue and figure out who is Leo Crow and why will I kill him in the next 32 hours. Mercy, on the other hand, the relationship they show with Chris and the technology is more friendly. He's not hiding from the technology. He has to constantly interact with this AI to prove his innocence. And on top of that, he's teaching the AI. This AI doesn't seem to know what a gut feeling is. He explains that. He explains what a common saying is. Um, and by the end of the film, you get this idea that the technology will stay. We just need to teach it a bit more. And it seems that the technology seems to um, join Chris or side with Chris and help him out and make a decision on its own to help save Chris in the end. So, for Minority Report, technology and surveillance are the problem and the hurdle that's in front of John, where for Chris and Mercy, the AI isn't too much of a problem. I just need to convince it and do so fast enough so that I won't be killed in the next 90 minutes. Both of these films have two different messages. For Minority Report, you start to really get an idea of that through the dialogue in the film. And John is in a unique position because he works for pre-crime. He's able to see that he's going to commit a murder and then make a choice to either not commit that murder or just keep living and eventually fall into that trap and commit this murder. So he's being in that unique position. He has that distinct ability or opportunity to choose to murder or choose to not murder. Whereas everyone else in this world doesn't know that this option, they don't even have this option presented to them. So the message of Minority Report is you have a choice. Choose wisely.
You can choose. You can choose.
Now, Mercy's message seems to be that AI only knows what it has access to. So it must learn and we must teach it. In this film, Chris uncovers the true culprit that started this AI program off on such a terrible footing on their first case because our villain destroyed key evidence that would have produced an innocent verdict for their very first criminal in this program. Because she wanted it to succeed, she destroyed evidence and this man was killed, though he shouldn't have been. And the AI didn't know this because they didn't have access to that evidence because it was never downloaded and it was destroyed. So AI knows all if all is only considered what they have access to. If you have information just written on a note that's never digitized and never uploaded or so that the AI can access, AI doesn't know about it. You can keep secrets from AI. So again, I would say that the problems that Mercy had in this film were just the fact that our main character, Chris, was strapped to a chair and running against a clock that just seemed ridiculous. 90 minutes to prove your innocence. It's a 90-minute film, or it's just over a 90-minute film. So that's why he has 90 minutes. They needed to give him an ankle monitor and give him a few days to prove his innocent. Let him go out into the world. Let us see some of that technology. Let him have actual physical hurdles, not just files, not just video footage. Let him interact with this futuristic world and it be a struggle for him. It's fine that the AI seems to want to help him, which is good because the AI is playing multiple roles. They say the AI is playing judge, jury, and executioner, but eventually you get to see that the AI is also playing his defense attorney when it is slowly being convinced that maybe Chris is innocent in this case. Maybe I have it wrong. So the AI then starts to step in, and it's clearly realized by the end of the film, yes, we're keeping this technology. It needs improving. And our first case, we went wrong. They should eliminate it at that point. Maybe just make the AI a defense attorney for people. Have the AI help you and defend you in that way. It's just playing too many roles. It seems like it's doing too much and doing everything to just execute you as quickly as possible. Minority Report from over 2 decades ago succeeded at this futuristic crime fighting genre of a film because our main character, John, was out there fighting for his life, out in this futuristic world, fighting to prove and figure out why he would kill someone. There's no way he would kill this man, so something must be wrong. The fact that he's out in this world and out trying to figure out his own mystery was great. It's an actual, true action film. And he's able to, we see John at the very beginning get out of the office before anyone's able to arrest him, before everyone sees this footage and realizes, hey, we got to arrest him now before he goes. He's out. But then when he discovers a way to possibly find this minority report, this backup file that would show more of what's going on, he has to go back to the office now that everybody knows what he's going to do in the next 32 hours. So he has to disguise himself. He has to change his eyes and then make his face deformed for a temporary moment, just have his face change. And now with these new eyes, he can sneak his way into his office and get Agatha so that she, being the strongest and most talented of the precogs, can help him find this minority report, to discover if he even has a minority report, to then figure out what is going on. John is also running against a clock that is based on when he will commit a crime, 32 hours. So he has time to work out and figure out what to do. Another thing I liked with Minority Report is the fact that the precogs are actually human, though the characters early on say it's best to not think of them as human because they're living their entire lives in this pool of water that has nutrients that helps keep them alive, but they are just constantly being drained of this information that they have foreseen, that's just terrible to live through because they're just seeing murder after murder take place. But because they're human and not AI, it has a more humane feel to it that you have to work with this person who's not lived in the real world to help you escape being locked up for life. The other interesting thing about the precogs is the fact that they are seen as gods. The place they live in is called the temple. There's three of them, like the Trinity, like a triune God. Um, and then the fact that two of the characters even acknowledge them as a god or treat them in a godlike manner. Rufus, who helps John connect Agatha up to a machine so he can see her thoughts, he says at one point, "I'm sorry for whatever I'm going to do, and I swear I didn't do any of the stuff I did." And he's kneeling to her. He's like, "Can you see my thoughts right now?" And Wally is the caregiver of the precogs, and he treats them as idols. He's bathing them, he's grooming them. Um, the way that people do and treat idols throughout time and even today, these idols are man made. They need the help of caregivers to just sit there as an idol. People are dusting them, if you will. People are bringing offering to them. People physically go to the location of that god, that idol, because it is not omnipresent. This brings to mind the scripture in Romans 17 where Paul is walking through a town and he notices that they have idols to multiple gods. They wanted this town and its members wanted to make sure that they acknowledged and recognized every god. And in case they forgot a god, they had an idol to the unknown God. That's what it said on it, to an unknown God. And Paul says to them here in Romans 17, starting at verse 23, about halfway in, he says, "For while I was passing," and I being Paul, "while I was passing through and examining the objects you worship, I also found an altar with this inscription, to an unknown God. Therefore, what you worship in ignorance, this I proclaim to you, that God who made the world and everything that is in it, since he is Lord of heaven and earth, does not dwell in temples made by hands, nor is he served by human hands, as though he needed anything, since he himself gives to all people life and breath and all things." Here we have Paul in this town seeing these people try to worship and acknowledge every god and even a God they do not know. Paul introduces them to that God, the one true God who made all and gives to all things. So when it comes to both of these films, Minority Report and Mercy, yes, I personally prefer Minority Report to Mercy. But Minority Report clearly has this false God tilt to it, where the precogs are in a temple, they are idolized, they are worshiped, and we live our lives in a way that the precogs will not notice us and we will not be punished for something we might do in the future. Mercy doesn't have this sort of lesson. Um, It doesn't have anything to say except AI is on the right path. We just have to teach it a few more things, and it needs more access to more things. These are the things I noticed between the two films. What did you notice? Have you seen Mercy yet? Do you plan to see it? Have you gone back and watched Minority Report? Yes, it was filmed in 2002, but it is still a great film, a true action, futuristic, crime-fighting film. I highly recommend it. Please share your thoughts about both or either of these films in the comments below. And do you worship the one true God, or do you have idols to an unknown God, or gods of your own imagination and your own creation? Let me know, and I look forward to discussing and dialoguing with you about another film.